In this lesson, we're going to learn how to blend two objects together. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with my large red apple here, and I'm going to combine this mouth of a great white shark. Okay, already I can tell you that I have two separate types of files. So over here, I have an RGB type of file, and over here I have an index file. So always check that, because if you have something called index here, you have to make adjustments. So the first thing I'm going to do on this is change that image mode, and I'm going to switch it to RGB color so that they both match. So RGB and RGB. Okay, this is going to count as my background layer, which means I need to bring this picture over to the other picture, but I don't necessarily need everything. So I'm going to use one of my lasso tools, and I'm going to make a very loose selection around this shark here. Okay. And then I'm going to use my move tool here, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it up to the apple, and I'm going to drop it into place. Okay, already the sizes don't match, so I need to adjust that. So I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go down to Free Transform, or you can press Command and the letter T. I'm going to hold Shift while I do this, so that way my shark image doesn't get all distorted, and I might come back to this in just a second. But for now, go ahead and hit that check mark. Okay, so how do we blend this and what was there before? All right, before I had shown you how to use the eraser tool. Now that is definitely not the tool we want to use for something like this. So it has the same effect, but it's going to be, it's non-destructive, meaning no matter what I do, I can always undo it, which is a great thing to know. Okay, so I'm on my layer 1. I'm going to go down to the bottom of my layers palette, and I'm going to click right here, and if I hover over it, it's going to say add layer mask. So I'm going to click on that, and what you're going to end up with is this little white square right here. Now there's a frame around it, okay, and what that's saying is that it's active and that I'm working on that. If I wanted to work on the photo, I can click over here, and now the frame is on the photo side. All right, this is a link connecting these two things together. Okay, so this mask basically acts as it's going to hide certain things from view. So right now it's all white, which means it's showing everything that you see here. So we're going to take our brush tool, we're going to go up to the top, and we're going to make sure it works the way we want it to. So I can choose the type of brush I want. So you're going to choose a round brush, so choose one of these, and then you're going to bring the hardness all the way down to 0%, so that way it acts more like an airbrush and it's better for blending. Don't worry about the size too much, because we're going to adjust that as we work. The mode should be set to normal. The opacity is 100%. And to start, we're going to keep the flow at 100% as well. Okay, from there, I need to make sure that I'm working with black. So have black over here, brush tool, and then again, use your bracket keys to adjust the size of this brush. And all I'm going to do is come in here, and I am going to remove the parts that I don't want. Okay, so. Now I'm not going to get super tight just yet, because I want to be able to blend this. So I'm just going to kind of make some general, okay? And that works just like the eraser tool. Now here's the thing why this is so much better than the eraser tool. Let's just say I make a huge mistake, and I don't necessarily realize it until maybe 20 steps later, okay? Now with the eraser tool, I can't undo it. I basically have to start over. With this mask and using brush with black paint, I can swap that, get white here, and now I can bring this back. And I can do that at any point in time, okay? So if anything I want to bring back, I can. Okay, the shortcut to swap between these two colors is X. So if you just press the letter X, it will swap between the two. Okay, so I'm coming in here and I'm making this kind of a loose, general erase type thing going on. Now I'm going to lower my flow, and I'm going to bring it down to like 10%. And what this does is it makes it so it doesn't happen so fast. So now I can come in here and I can go in a more painterly way. Okay, and it might take several clicks, but I can make it fade from one thing to the other. And if I go too far again, switch back to white and make it so you can start again. So what I want this to end up looking like is like a big mouth is basically coming out of this apple here. So it doesn't need to look like a shark anymore for me. Now I want to make it just a little bit larger and maybe even rotate it. Okay. Again, you can see things are coming out here, so you got to fix all that. Okay, so that's pretty good. Okay, so that's how you blend two things together. So just to recap, you start with your background image, you bring your other image over, you add a layer mask to it, which you can activate by down here. You use a paintbrush, you use black or white, depending on if you want to erase or bring back. You make sure you control your brush tool up here. You start with a high flow of 100%, and then you gradually bring it down or drop it all the way down so that you can blend the two things together. So here's what we're doing today. I want you to, I've included this apple and this great white shark mouth on the exercise today, and I want you to blend these two things together. And then I want you to find something else, another fruit and another animal, okay? Same type of deal, but I just want to see you blend things together. And then I would like you to start working on two animals. Okay, so for example, here's my green apple, and not that. I can't seem to find it. There it is. Okay, so if I were to do something like this, same thing goes. Use your lasso, make a loose selection so that way you have something to erase. Do not make it tight, otherwise you won't be able to blend it as easily. And you will move it to your next area and go through the same process. I just hit Command T, by the way, to resize that. Okay? Add your mask, grab your brush, and start erasing. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you to let you guys start working on this on your own. Let me know if you have any questions.